Hey, this is Jimmy, the host of the Internet Explorers podcast, your late-night internet spirit animal in human form. And I'm inviting you to come check out my show where we venture into the wildest corners of the internet to study strange happenings, media hoaxes, and weird science. You know, the fun stuff.
2, 3, 4, Internet Explorers podcast!
Tuning wherever reality is optional.
Plug in, tune out, and get lost.
Content warning for profanity, gun violence, alcohol use, and adult themes. Welcome to Season 2, Worried Wendell, Episode 16, Last Day on Pariah-7. Enjoy! The final day of surgery rotation arrived. This would also be the final day of residency, and might also be the final day of Wendell Glick. Dr. Mentor had clinic follow-up that morning, and it went remarkably smoothly, mostly because Dr. Mentor hardly said a word to Wendell after yesterday's emergency surgery. Finally, the last morning patient was seen, paperwork was cleared up, and Wendell was standing around not really sure what to do next. Dr. Mentor had the afternoon off for administrative time. Pandit, one of the nurses, answered the clinic phone.
It's Dr. Mentor. He wants you in his office. Now.
She had always been nice to Wendell and gave him a hopeful thumbs up. Time to get this over with, he thought as he trudged to the office. Dr. Mentor's assistant, a squid folk, gave Wendell a pensive look with its large eyes. Wendell stepped into Dr. Mentor's office. There was a red candle burning that smelled like cinnamon, or maybe nutmeg. Wendell could never tell the difference. Maybe the scent is calming, he hoped.
Sit down,
Dr. Mentor said without looking up, and Wendell sat obediently. Dr. Mentor continued to scribble notes without looking up. On his desk was a small photograph of a smiling hippopotamus-crocodile hybrid in a wedding gown. She must have been his wife, the one whose unfortunate death drove Dr. Philip Mentor to become, well, this. Behind Dr. Mentor was a large window. Light from the suns came in at just the right angle to get in Wendell's eyes. Wendell had no doubt the furniture arrangement was done on purpose.
I don't like you,
said Dr. Mentor, finally looking up.
Do you know why?
Because I was disorganized when I got here, Wendell ventured.
Exactly. Plus, there's nothing to like about you. Every year, some spineless nitwit gets into the program. And you know what happens next?
Wendell shook his head.
If I am not here to clip the bud, it sprouts into an incompetent medical practitioner that goes out and causes harm to patients. This is why I am here. Not to...
He sarcastically twirled his hands.
Not to inspire the next generation, or make sure that everyone is happy.
He slammed a hand on the desk.
I don't care who is happy. I prune the problem before it gets out of hand. And you...
I am your idea of the problem, Wendell finished.
No. You, Glick, have turned out to be a dilemma. You see, most of the time, the weak link breaks. They leave the program or succumb to the pressures. I rarely have to do much myself to bring resolution.
I see. So I passed the program.
I didn't say that. On one hand, you passed all your rotations. You somehow duped the other attendings into thinking you were competent. Even Dr. Spector gave you a glowing review, and she's usually smarter than this.
Wendell smiled, then stopped immediately at Dr. Mentor's harsh scowl.
Also, your certification test results just came in. Not only did you pass, you were in the top 5th percentile.
Wendell's eyes boggled. Of my class?
Of all testers. See? You even have the exams fooled.
Wendell paused to consider this. Sir, may I say something?
Go on.
So if I passed my certification exam, I have good reviews from my attendings, and I've met all criteria to complete the program, what's the dilemma?
Because you have not met all criteria, you smug brat. You have one criteria left, and that is to convince me.
Convince you?
That you shouldn't be pruned.
Dr. Mentor reached into his desk drawer and pulled out a long-barreled revolver and set it on his desk. What the hell? Wendell started looking towards the door. His heart began thumping in his chest.
What choice do you have, Glick? Walk out the door? That's a breach of contract. This will be much more humane than what the killbots will do. I'm doing you a favor.
Dr. Mentor looked into the cylinder, said,
Only one. You can check me if you want.
And gave it a spin.
Do you know how to play?
Wendell nodded. I know how to play, but you're crazy. I'm not doing this.
So you fail. You had to convince me, Glick. Breach of contract or play the game. Show your determination.
Wendell had lost. If he left, he lost. If he grabbed the gun and shot, he still lost. The only way back to Earth, back to Gale, was to play. Somewhere, deep inside, after a year of taking this from Philip Mentor, after being stuck on this planet that he didn't even choose, on this residency program he never applied to, something deep inside of Wendell Glick said, enough. He picked up the revolver. I'll go first. He put the shaking barrel against his head, stared at Dr. Mentor. His eyes teared and his hand shook. F*** you, Philip, and pulled the trigger.
Philip, eh? Not a way to impress me. I am still Dr. Mentor, and you should remember that. Give it here.
Wendell started to pass the revolver, but gave the cylinder a spin first. Dr. Mentor took the revolver and pushed it against his skull. He smiled darkly at Wendell and pulled the trigger. Again, the cylinder spun. Wendell took the revolver and with a deep breath felt the cold metal against his scalp. He squeezed the trigger.
This could take a while. Are you sure you don't want to quit?
Said Dr. Mentor. I have all the time in the world, Philip. I've been busting my ass.
Enough talk,
said Mentor.
We're letting the universe decide.
He squeezed the trigger, spun the cylinder, pushed to the scalp, take a breath, squeeze and repeat. For a moment, Wendell thought of death, not the Grim Reaper, but how he had learned to see death. Is he about to meet his oldest friend? Or is this cheating? Does he not get the key if he throws the schedule off himself? Wendell squeezed the trigger. Several more rounds went back and forth. Spin the cylinder, pull the trigger. Spin the cylinder, pull the trigger. Without knocking, the assistant walked into the room. With the gun barreled ahead, the trigger was pulled. The assistant screamed and red splattered the wall. The assistant screamed at the sound of the bang. Startled at the noise, Wendell's arms flailed out like a surprised newborn and knocked the cinnamon candle over with red wax splattering the wall. "What the hell?" Wendell's eyes goggled. There sat Dr. Mentor, a baleful look in his eyes as he said,
"You won, you little snot."
From his right scalp poked out a 4-inch-long staple. Little drops of blood peeked out from the 2 small holes. "My stapler," the assistant snapped. He reached for the revolver and tugged it out of Dr. Mentor's petulant hand. That's a stapler?" Wendell asked numbly. "Of course. It's for thick documents and thick heads, and it's not a toy. Someone could have gotten hurt." The squid assistant pointed to the red wax on the wall and said, "You two are cleaning that up, not me," and stomped out of the office.
Glick, what did you think that was?
Wendell shivered and said, A gun. I thought we were playing for keeps." Dr. Mentor stared long and hard at Wendell. Then something bizarre happened. The sides of his lips turned upwards, and he smiled a big open smile. Then he made a sound Wendell had not heard before. From his sharp mouth came a deep belly laugh.
Oh, oh, you're such an idiot. You thought, do you think I would put my life on the line over a piece of shit like you?
He rapped his head with his knuckles.
My skull is made out of bone and thick plates of keratin. The staple would have never gone through.
He plucked the staple out of his scalp as easily had it been a piece of lint. It would have gone through my skull.
Oh, I must have forgotten that. But as much as I hate to admit it, you have moxie. You won the game fair and square, and I keep my word.
Dr. Mentor pulled a folder out of his desk, took out a certificate, and signed.
You are now a certified physician by the Federation of Advanced Residency Trainers.
Wendell took the certificate. Above were the Federation's initials, F-A-R-T. It's called Fart?
I didn't name it,
said Mentor. Wendell held out his hand to Dr. Mentor. Thank you, sir. Dr. Philip Mentor stood up and shook Wendell's hand.
Also, I assume you're heading back to Earth to practice?
Yes, sir.
Wendell felt, for the first time in a very long time, actual excitement welling up inside. However, he had no idea, and he had thought about this, what hospital was going to hire him.
Well, to keep you on that faraway shit heap and out of my hair, I'll set you up. Here.
He spun through his Rolodex and copied down a name and phone number.
Contact this clinic when you get home. Now get your stuff and get the hell out. If I catch you lingering, I'll call security for trespassing.
Minter sat back down and began shuffling through his papers. On the way out, Wendell could have sworn he heard Dr. Minter snickering and saying,
A gun.
On his way out, Wendell stopped by each clinic and thanked everyone. He found that he had made more friends than he realized, and he had learned as much from nurses and technicians as he had from his attendings, and he owed them all a debt of gratitude. Then came the hard part. He stopped by the emergency department where Gappy was finishing up. He said goodbye to Dr. Spector and thanked her. Gappy was just finishing with a patient.
Check it,
Wendell said, showing his certificate.
Neato mosquito.
She squeaked and went to her backpack to show her certificate as well.
You just missed Kermit. He got his also.
Damn, I wanted to say goodbye.
You can tonight.
Wendell gave a confused look that Gappy had grown used to.
At the residence graduation dinner that we all planned.
Wendell gave a confused look that Gappy had grown used to.
Tonight, at Barley's? I gotta get back to this patient. See you there.
That night, the small group of residents met up at Barley's. Sint had been chosen to be next year's chief resident. Poor residents, thought everyone. However, he also had an unexpected guest with him at dinner. She was an older meerkat in a prim floral dress who spoke quietly while doting on Sint.
Thank you for rehiring me. I was so upset when your parents fired me for keeping your childhood medals. I'm just so proud of you, Mr. Sint. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Sint. I keep forgetting the doctor part.
Sint smiled at her and said,
Oh, that's okay, Hazel. Just keep practicing.
Gappy was going home to her large family and had joined a general practice clinic in her hometown. Kermit Seabear and his husband Fa were headed back to their home planet, and Kermit already had a military physician rank. He also ordered rounds of drinks for everyone to celebrate. Dr. Lucy Loggins was heading back home with her husband, Chip Messina, to join a large family and delivery practice in their home city. Chip was chomping at the bit to get back to graduate school, and after a couple of glasses of Meyerberry wine, started talking math to anyone who would listen. Lucy declined her drink, and her face flushed. She tapped her glass of water and said,
Also, I have some exciting news.
She smiled and put her hands on her belly.
We're expecting.
The room exploded in joy and congratulations. Wendell gave Lucy and Chip big hugs and congratulations. He would miss them all, even Sint. They ate, drank, laughed, and celebrated until closing time. The next morning, Wendell woke up with a mild headache and some extra fur on his tongue, but otherwise no worse for wear. He was in the shower when his roommate, Nort, came in through the wall. Wendell had once been very anxious about anyone walking into the bathroom, but having a wallfowler as a roommate changed that. See, wallfowlers can slip through walls and have absolutely no concept of privacy. The first few times Wendell freaked out when Nort showed up in the bathroom, or was bored and watched Wendell sleep. Then Wendell only mostly freaked out, and now it was just another day with a sentient funnel cloud in the shower with him, having a normal conversation. "Hey, guy, I guess you're off, yeah?" "Yeah, packing a few things, then going home. I can't believe time went by so fast. You've been... roommate." "Yeah, you too. Remember all those wacky hijinks we got into that didn't make it into this season?" "Oh, yeah. Yeah, those were some of the most amazing adventures of my journey here on Pariah-7. And they really brought out rich history of this exciting planet and helped develop characters. All left on the edit room floor." "Well, I'm sure I'll be a spin-off character sometime down the road. Maybe I should work on a catchphrase." "Okay, I guess." "Right then. See you later, roomie. Or should I say..." "Yeah, nothing. I got nothing. Nothing for a catchphrase, but I'll work on it. So take care, weird human." Nort floated away. Wendell packed up his stuff, remembering one specific item he had found in the Waxmind's gift shop, and then left his apartment. Wendell had booked travel back to Earth with a travel agent, and she set him up with a one-way ticket on Galactica Cruises. This was an intergalactic cruise ship with actual private rooms. He would have his own bathroom for the first time since leaving Earth, and he could sleep without getting wet from a leaky waterbed. There were all-you-can-gorge buffets and entertainment shows, and Wendell had picked up a few fun books at the local bookstore. Apparently, everyone in the galaxy loved a good whodunit. This was his time to sit back and relax. He waited for his shuttle to the cruise ship and felt a wave of calm coming over him. He could almost feel warm ocean waves coming over his head and shoulders. And then he thought, ocean? What ocean? What the fuck? There was a bright flash of light, and Wendell was gone. A discount story time, discount idea. Hoo boy. Must mean you're making progress, because my therapist says, hoo boy, a lot. Thank you for listening. So is our hero Wendell finally free, or out of the frying pan into the fryer? Stay tuned to find out, and until next time, be sure to play nice with others, be super duper kind to yourself, and as always, remember to laugh. Bye! If you are enjoying the show, please consider supporting Discount Storytime. You can do that by telling others about the show. Podcasts depend on word of mouth for growth, so this is perhaps the most important. Writing in. I love hearing from listeners about what the show is doing well and especially how the show can improve. Click on the link in the show notes or email me at mail@discountstorytime.com. And finally, Discount Storytime is on Patreon, with bonus content for subscribers. A free story, The Fall of Stumbly, is available now, Check it out at patreon.com/discountstorytime, or the link is in the show notes. And thank you so much for being a listener. Bye!